finally here. It is playoff Saturday, and how about we start off your day of college football here in Charlotte as South Carolina and Virginia meet in the Belk Bowl, their first meeting since 2003. Welcome everybody to the 2018 Belk Bowl. It's all part of Capital One Bowl Mania from Bank of America Stadium here in Charlotte, North Carolina. The South Carolina Gamecocks from the SEC and the Virginia Cavaliers from the ACC. With that, we welcome you into the broadcast booth in Charlotte. Adam Amin, Anthony Beck, Rocky Boyman is with us as well. Bronco Mendenhall and Will Muschamp, third seasons at these respective programs, and they've done very good things, particularly over the last 2 seasons. Tonight, they look for their 8th wins, and they have 2 outstanding and dynamic quarterbacks to try to get them there.
2 players that have risen their game in the second half of the season, the true leaders of these football teams. And if you want electricity, wait till you see these 2 guys. And their skill sets are much different when you watch them on the field. For Virginia, Bryce Perkins, this guy has catch me if you can speed. He almost runs the option like you see in some of the Navy Army teams, but this guy's electric with the football when he runs, but also as a passer, he's able to divert the traffic, still keep his eyes down the field and make big plays. For South Carolina, Jake Bentley, a pure pocket passer, and I'll tell you what, a month ago, he carved up Clemson's defense, and he used it by beating them with his eyes, pulling the defenders out of the middle of the field, able to hit with accuracy, and of course, when pressure's in his face, Adam, he's one of the best in the business. High risk, high reward quarterback looking to do some special damage today versus Virginia.
He did it against the Clemson defense. He'll have another very good ACC defense to go up against, Rocky Boyman.
Absolutely, guys. You mentioned Jake Bentley, Anthony. He's got a tough task ahead of him today. That Virginia secondary, one of the best in the country, a lot of NFL talent. The cornerback, Bryce Hall, long, 6'1", has an FBS record, 20 pass breakups. The safety, Juan Thornhill, team leader in tackles, 5 interceptions. Tim Harris on the other side. Can Jake Bentley pick them apart the way he did the Clemson secondary? That is the matchup to watch today.
Well, you're going to see that Clemson secondary in action on ESPN in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, one of our semifinals. We start off your day with South Carolina and UVA. Virginia, first time going to back-to-back bowl games since they went to 4 straight in the mid-2000s, while South Carolina has a chance for back-to-back 8+ win seasons for just the 7th time in program history, a program that goes all the way back to 1892. South Carolina won the toss, and they elected to receive. And we'll see Jake Bentley in the Gamecock offense on the field first. Brian Delaney kicks away, and off we go. They'll take a left turn, though, out of bounds, and South Carolina on the procedure penalty will have solid field position to start their day.
Kick out of bounds. The kicking team, number 26. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down and 10.
So Jake Bentley, who graduated from Opelika High School after his junior year and enrolled in South Carolina in 2016, today makes his 32nd career start, having a career season, a chance for the most touchdown passes in a single year in South Carolina history. And Anthony, you talked about it. How good was he against that very good Clemson secondary?
He's a gunslinger. He wants to get the ball out of his hands. He feels like he can win every pass. Sometimes it works against him this season.
Bentley is looking to throw on the opening play, but he'll run it for about 3.5 yards.
You already see the coverage right now. That's what's key for Virginia. Their secondary is very good. Jake Bentley had great protection, but he's going to have to fend against some of these secondary players like corner Hall, number 34, and number 21, Thornhill.
Rico Dowdle setting up 3rd down and short. So we got to look at today's impact players. They're brought to you by Lexus. This is the matchup that Rocky talked about. I know your eyes are on it too, AB.
I can't wait. Hall's one of the best, if not the best corner in the country. Brian Edwards, 6'3", 220 pounds. He can run the straight down the field fly routes. He can go get the football in the 50-50 balls. These two guys will be matched up often in this game.
Shi Smith on the end around has the 1st down. Joey Blunt finally stopped him, but South Carolina moves the chains.
And you're going to see Shi Smith get a little more touches today. No Deebo Samuel, so he'll be in the slot. He'll be a jet sweep guy. He'll be implemented more in some of those 3rd down packages.
Toss play to Rico Dowdle, and he is met in the hole by Juan Thornhill, a name that you've already heard today, arguably the best player on a very solid defense.
You better find this kid. He likes to get in the box. He's a bit of a ball hawk in the secondary. With 5 interceptions on the season, he can do a lot for this defense.
Dowdle again will run it to the 49-yard line. Jordan Mack shoved him out.
Thornhill also has very little regard for his body when he's filling on the run. It's really fun watching him on tape this week.
Super athletic. In fact, was a quarterback in high school, was the district quarterback of the year at Alta Vista in Virginia. He's an outstanding athlete. On 3rd and 10, it's a throw for Bentley. And now he's going to run it. He's got some space to cover, reaching for the 1st down marker, and he seems to be just shy as Tim Harris made the stop about a half a yard before the line to gain.
Yeah, something you don't normally see in his game. This is, again, good coverage by Virginia on the back end, and he finds an opening on the outside. You still have to keep contained. Even though he's not known for being a rusher, you want to make sure you protect. That's an excellent job by him. I thought at least extending for the 1st down. Looks like they're showing that he's a bit short.
Will Muschamp on 4th down and short keeps the Gamecocks on the field, trying to convert an early 4th down. In front of Rico Dowdle. Bentley rolling. Throwing for Dowdle, incomplete.
South Carolina going for high risk, throwing the football. You've got literally a foot to go. I think this is a bad call. You got a fullback in the backfield. I know you're trying to have some deception here, but again, even though the tailback's there, it's an awkward throw with the defender in the line sight for Jake Bentley. Number 11, Snowden. He's very long at that Sam linebacker position at 6'7". Imagine a guy getting his arms up. That's a tough throw against him.
And I agree with you, Anthony. You've got an SEC offensive line. I think you want to set the tone early. I didn't like the call either.
A good field position for Bryce Perkins and the Virginia offense at the 42. And he strikes to Evan Butts, the tight end. And just like that, Virginia is down to the South Carolina 46.
Perkins done a nice job all season passing the football. That's right, folks. That's a huddle. If you're not, if you're a little confused on what that may be, they actually huddled up to call plays. Something that Will Muschamp had to teach his team on defense what they were doing.
Hey, you guys get actually a breather between plays. You can settle down. That one a little bit too strong for Hassis Dubois. But here is Bryce Perkins, a junior college transfer, who's had a dynamite season. 2 years at Arizona State, following in his dad Bruce's footsteps. He actually dealt with a neck injury a couple of years ago. This guy didn't know if he was going to play football again. Look what he's done this year and stack his numbers up with Kyler Murray, the Heisman Trophy winner, in the FBS. The only guys with 2,400 passing yards and 800 rushing yards. No Virginia quarterback has ever thrown for 1,000 and rushed for 1,000 in the same season. He could do it today. Perkins under pressure, able to sling it to Zacchaeus, who slips away from Montag and then gets hit by Sherrod Green in the 37. Good slippery move to set up a makeable third down.
He's only 5'8". You got to wrap him up. I think the biggest thing is there's so many movements. Look at the position he's in. Right off the back of the tackle, they just slip him out to the outside into the flat, and they just give him the football. Creator. He's a guy that can go out there and make people miss. Again, that's 3 or 4 touches early on in this drive. Expect him to get many more.
Now he's going to line up top of the formation. Here's Ellis. He got wrapped up by T.J. Brunson, but dragged him to the line to gain. First down for Virginia.
Jordan Ellis, a very underachieved back. He's a guy that, maybe doesn't get a lot of respect in the ACC. He's a between the tackles guy. He runs very hard. Not a lot of wiggle to him, but he doesn't waste any movements getting up into the hole. And he'll be productive in those third and short areas when he gets the football.
Yeah, he is a north-south guy. Very little wasted movement. He puts that foot in the ground, puts those shoulder pads down, and he'll run you over too.
He stays in the backfield with Perkins. Big hole for Ellis. Kept his feet for a good run. He's the highlight of today's PlayStation Player Index, making his final appearance for Virginia. He will play in the East-West Shrine game. The thing that stuck out to me, and Bronco Mendenhall told us this last year, Bronco has changed the culture of Virginia, and he allows the team to select who gets the first jersey pick. Bronco's big on warrior culture and martial arts culture, and says in those cultures you have to earn everything before it's given to you. Teammates vote on who gets to pick their jersey numbers first. 3 years in a row, Jordan Ellis has earned it first. That's why he's number 1. This might be option number 1 for Virginia. Olamide Zaccheaus with a 10-yard pickup.
Yeah, really nice block on the outside by number 2, Joe Reed. Really springs this run. But again, you see the touches that Zaccheaus is getting early in this football game. And it's hard because when you move him around different spots, when you change personnel groupings, you got to figure out where he's at. And so far, he's been lined up all over the field.
Where's Waldo now? He's in the slot to the left side. And they send him in motion. They fake to him. Bryce Perkins unable to slip Kobe Smith. That play was blown up from the start by Brad Johnson, and Smith finished it off.
Yeah, good penetration. Again, you've got to kind of corner Bryce Perkins in that backfield because he can break tackles, he can go left, he can go right. He's very strong and fast runner. It's a nice job by the defense converging. And again, 2nd and long, 3rd and long. These are not favorable positions for Virginia's offense to be in.
11th play of this near 6-minute drive. Perkins lobbing it up there for Dubois. Good coverage on the outside by a freshman, Israel Mukwamu, holding on against the junior Dubois.
Yeah, Mukwamu does a nice job pressing the receiver towards the out of bounds. Even if it's not a push or a flag, he uses his body. The receiver has to leave space on the outside for his quarterback, and right there, Dubois doesn't do that. Puts South Carolina's defense in a favorable position.
Felt like a design quarterback run there for Perkins, and he gets close to the sticks, but not quite there. Obviously, they're in field goal range for Brian Delaney, but it's 4th down and short here.
Bronco Mendenhall said we have to go outside the box the way we play our football team. Be aggressive. We have to take those steps to take the risks that we want. And it looks like right now they're going to go for this one.
Perkins handles the snap. Backing. Throwing. Touchdown! Olamide Zaccheaus.
Clearly, if you watch too much film, Adam, you start to see
They went away from tendency. They went away from tendency.
Which is good. 2 feet down. Does he secure all the way down? He does. Great job This guy needs to be found. If you're a South Carolina defender, if he's open in space, he's going to make you pay. And right there finds an open seam. Going against what they would normally do in the run game, throwing the pass. I like the call. Big play by Virginia.
Brian Delaney adds the extra point. Olamide Zaccheaus in his final Virginia game gets Virginia on the board first. Olamide. The name was given to him by his Nigerian mother. It means the blessing has come. Holds on to that one for the score. Jake Bentley, that's the same spot he attacked that Clemson defense. He finds KC Crosby for a big gain of 22 yards.
Got to get some other players involved. Why not throw it to the tight end, crossing over the middle? They'll be used in the slot as well, like they did on that flat pass.
Rico Dowdle pushing ahead. The forward progress goes to midfield.
Yeah, it's just a simple middle cross. Two wide receivers crossing in the middle of the field. And again, the tight end just wraps around the linebackers. That's a tight window. That's something Bentley will look for. He's not scared of putting the ball into those tight windows. He's very confident. He's got a live arm, and he's going to force to try to make a play on every snap.
Toss to Rico Dowdle. Good second effort. He's stopped about a yard shy. There is Big Zach. 38 starts to lead this team. A second-team All-SEC selection. Very unfortunate for him, but expectation is he will be ready to go come NFL preparation time and draft time, and hopefully he'll be ready to go a year from now. Well, about really 9 months from now.
I'm surprised that Scooter holds his weight. I saw him go out on the coin toss with it. I'm like, man, that's a lot of pressure leaning on that.
He's a great young man, and obviously they miss him on the offensive line. 3rd and 1. Bentley tosses, and Brian Edwards extends for the first down.
You just saw it right there, really noticing this today. Virginia's secondary, especially their cornerbacks, a lot of off coverage. It makes it hard to get behind them, but if you can have patience and Bentley can hit the receivers underneath of those cornerbacks as they drop back and matriculate the ball down the field, they can have success.
They won't want to give up the explosive plays down the field. They want the offense to earn it. The more snaps a quarterback's throwing, they feel they have an advantage.
Good job by Jacob August to muscle out for a couple of more yards. That should take us to the end of the opening quarter. Zaccheaus with the touchdown here in the first. 2nd down for South Carolina when quarter number 2 begins. These two teams met 13 times as ACC foes. They're meeting for the first time since 2003 today. The Belk Bowl on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to the 2018 Belk Bowl, all part of Capital One Bowl Mania. 17th edition of the Belk Bowl. We're at Bank of America Stadium, the home of the Carolina Panthers, who have already closed out their home slate this year. 7-0 Virginia on top. South Carolina has 2nd down at the 28-yard line. High snap again. Bentley slinging it out, looking for Jacob August. Juan Thornhill, the safety, bringing the pressure.
Yeah, off the edge, just getting in the vision of Bentley. Saw it a couple snaps ago also with Bryce Hall off the edge. So they're mixing it up. The quick short pass game, they're trying to disrupt him, maybe not getting hits and sacks, but just getting hands up, trying to find a football and making it tough for Bentley.
There's the ever-athletic Thornhill. Bentley with time. Great breakup by Bryce Hall. The 21st pass breakup of his season. It's the best in the country.
Just sit back and watch it. Watch this beautiful route, even better coverage. Just sits on it, breaks towards the ball, doesn't use that left hand and pull him, and just guides it on his outside hip and knocks the football down. This kid's the real deal. He may have a big decision to make after this game.
3-star recruit coming out of high school. That kid's going to play on Sundays. And he forces a South Carolina field goal try for Parker White. who had a rocky year last year overall. He has been great this year, 13 of 15. From 45, just wide. That's only the third miss of his season in 16 tries. This guy's made clutch kicks all year to win games. Unable to get the Gamecocks on the board here. Not by much.
Let's play the game. Where's Olamide Zaccheaus? Last drive, he's all over the place. The jet sweep, running the football. Got to track him. Now he's lined up in the hip position off the outside. He can make people miss. Then he's in the stack formation on the left side, top of the screen. He's able to catch the ball, great block, and then they just lose sight of number 4, which is almost impossible to me. This guy's going to get a lot of touches today. 5 on that last drive. He's got 4 catches so far. He's been the spark early on for Virginia.
He's lined up on the top of the formation here as a wideout. Jordan Ellis wrapped up by Josh Belk.
And one thing, Adam, you mentioned earlier, this is his 50th appearance. So he's small, but he's very, very durable. And you watch him on tape, he never really takes a full shot because he's so shifty. His durability, again, something else, the next level the NFL will love.
He's become a true leader for this team. You know, when you're around as long as somebody like Zaccheaus has been, naturally, people are going to look towards you, but he does it by example. He does it vocally. Olamide Zaccheaus, a key member of this run the last 2 years, especially. This is exactly what Anthony showed you at the top of the broadcast. Bryce Perkins buying time, looking downfield, and sure enough, it's Zaccheaus for a first down.
Well, give credit to the offensive line. You know, you get time to run a route like this, come out of it, and then stay friendly. See how he comes downhill, coming down to the football where only he can get the ball if that defender's tight. It's a good job by quarterback and receiver being on the same page.
Perkins finds Dubois.
I'll tell you what, guys, down here, really noticeable the effectiveness of the amount of shifting Virginia does. You can see down here, seeing their eyes, just a little bit of indecisiveness, and you can see right there, shifting motion, and boom, all of a sudden a guy is wide open.
Yeah, Robert Anai is the offense coordinator. Talked about, look, we got to give them a lot of eye candy. We can't just line up with our players and expect to beat them mano-a-mano. They got to shift, they got to move, they got to keep the defense on their toes. And when you got a lot of players that haven't had a lot of experience for South Carolina, they're shifting in and out, that could be a distraction. You saw a wide open touchdown catch earlier for Zaccheaus.
Yeah, very similar. A lot of eye candy. There is Olamide on the catch. And it was past the sticks. He survived the hit from T.J. Brunson. That'll move the chains to midfield.
Brunson's been one of the constants for the South Carolina defense, one of the top tacklers in the SEC. And he has to have a big game today. A lot of responsibility when you have the read option and some of the things the quarterback does with his legs. So his responsibilities go up. He starts making some more tackles and not letting guys get past him in the second level. Be some success there for South Carolina.
Well, both teams have been very balanced today. Virginia dead even, 15 runs and passes. That's a good pull by Perkins. Ellis got hit by Bryson Allen Williams. Perkins kept it for 4.
Right now, Perkins a little hobbly, guys. Remember, he injured the ankle against Georgia Tech early in the season, then re-injured versus Virginia Tech. See him hobbling a little bit on it right now.
Yeah, when we saw him for the Virginia Tech game, he told us, and Bronco Mendenhall more specifically said, it's about 80% going into that game. Obviously, they've had some time for bowl prep and some opportunities to get healthier, but he's been banged up this year. He takes a lot of hits. A tough dude at 6'3", 210 pounds. Perkins completes. First down to Zaccheaus. Down to the 39-yard line.
You know, it's hard to really say this defender versus Zaccheaus. He's all over the place. Everybody's going to get their opportunity to defend him. That's a problem. That's a problem, like Rocky was saying, with all the motions and movement. You're not quite sure. You may have a linebacker over him, a strong safety. A lot of advantages for Virginia. And if he gets a little space like that on the slant, he can make a play.
Ellis on first down. Pick up about 3 on the play. Zacchaeus has only gotten better as his career has gone on. He took a major step this year to try to improve his game. He gave up Fortnite.
That's big.
He needed to focus on his workouts. He said he needed to focus on his schoolwork as well to make sure he graduated on time. Gave up Fortnite. And if you don't know what that means, and you're an adult watching this game, I promise you, ask your son or daughter, and they'll probably tell you it's the most important thing that they've ever done in their young lives.
They may be playing it upstairs as you're watching that game.
You're watching the bowl game, your kids are playing Fortnite right now. Got the 3rd longest active streak in the country in terms of receptions. There's Ellis with another good run. Jalen Dickerson, who's back in the lineup after missing a few, makes the stop. It'll be 3rd and short.
Very few minus yards. I will say South Carolina is making them earn every single down. That could be good or bad. I mean, you could wear the defense down because you're churning the clock, you're moving the chains. But for this offense, it allows them to go every single time. Maybe with the pass, the 10th play of this drive right now. It's a heck of a job. See who comes out on top in this 3rd and short.
Ellis stacked up, but the second surge may have been enough. This will depend on the spot. And it is good enough for a 1st down. Far side judge says that it was good enough to move it to the 29.
Yeah, a little bit of reverse wishbone action here. 2 lead blockers, and it's just push. It's hard to tell where exactly Jordan Ellis is from that angle. May or may not have been short, but you see that push initially may have been enough for him.
He's averaging about 4 per carry. And riding Ellis here as he picks up a few. This is Olamide Zacchaeus' final game as a Cavalier. It's been a good one so far. 13 more yards.
Anthony, he may have those 20 catches by halftime if they keep
the touches are coming, man.
I'll tell you, they weren't kidding. Touches, and they felt like if he gets the ball a ton, this is what they call a hairpin route. Go the inside, roll it back in. Nobody's there. I mean, to me, you got to bracket this guy. You got to make sure you're very cognizant on defense of what's going on. 2 players should always have their eyes in his direction.
Already 8 grabs for Olamide Zacchaeus. Perkins took a shot from T.J. Brunson, going right into him. Picks up 5, though. Virginia has had a long drive, and we're closing down to 70 seconds.
Ducking low there, trying to get away from the hit. And, of course, Brunson, he's bringing the wood every play, no matter what. But got to protect yourself. You know, being a running quarterback, very dangerous, you know, for those kind of plays. And, you know, with the ankle and everything that's going on, he's a tough guy. But take a wrong shot, it could be bad.
Yeah, dude, you think about the neck injury a couple of years ago. It's hard not to think about that on a hit like that. Ellis has the hole, has the touchdown. And the Cavaliers are up 2 scores.
What a drive, huh? 8 minutes. I mean, that's the way you finish it, too. Virginia does an excellent job running the ball effectively now. This really takes the will out of a defense.
And Virginia will get the ball to start the 2nd half as well. A huge drive, 90 yards to go up 2 touchdowns. Jordan Ellis running it home.
Give it to the big man, but the big uglies. Look at the strain up front by the center, Reichensmeyer, and Glazer at left guard, making it happen so the senior, Jordan Ellis, can get a touchdown.
And Virginia's going to be amped up going into the locker room. They've taken off basically a quarter of this game on their last 2 touchdown drives. 8-minute drive. Well, South Carolina unable to get any offense going in terms of the points. 1 long drive ended in a missed field goal. And it will be Virginia ball to start the 2nd half. South Carolina does have 2 timeouts here. And it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Chris Peace, Tommy Christ, all these guys up front putting some pressure on Bentley.
Yeah, that's a 3 or 4 batted down balls right now. And there's obviously something on film that they watch in the delivery of Bentley, at least eyeing down the receivers because they're doing a nice job tracking the football.
They blitz again to the Cavaliers. Bentley's got a man downfield. Casey Crosby, a big play for the Gamecocks. The clock stops with 30 seconds to reset the chains. A 31-yard pickup. And let's see if Will Muschamp uses a timeout here. Actually, I think Virginia's going to use a timeout here. I'm going to try to settle down defensively, make sure they don't give up another big play at the end of this half. They want a little bit more, though. Rico Dowdle makes the grab. Now South Carolina has to use a timeout to stop the clock here. Dowdle a little shaken up after Zane Zandier put a hit on him. That one was a little high. Good effort by Chavis Dawkins to snare it, but he could not hold on. It will be 3rd and 4. Clock does stop with 21 seconds to go. You get a first down here, you're still in pretty good shape to try to even maybe get a touchdown at the end of the half.
And you see some of these other receivers. That's typically a Debo Samuel out there. He's probably catching that and going 25 yards, but haven't seen much down the field. The off coverage of Virginia prevents them from taking those chances. They got to work their way into the middle of the field and chip away at these short passes as well.
He's got Dawkins. And Dawkins does a good job of getting out of bounds, close to Parker White's field goal range. Still had a timeout to use. If you wanted to run another play, you could quickly because you have the timeout. The offense is out there, so either you're taking a shot to the end zone or you're just trying to get a few more yards for Parker White. And if you're doing that, you got to use the sideline and get out of bounds. And it has to be fast. Pressure from Virginia. Bentley. Down he goes. Closed out by Chris Peace. And a frustrating close to the opening half for the Gamecock offense.
It's a good finish for Virginia's defense.
Yep.
Just kind of converged the pocket, and all of a sudden, not only were the defenders there, the offensive line were kind of standing around, and that's where I think the frustration of Bentley there, trying to get out of there with no seam or hole to release.
Chris Peace, the linebacking leader of that Virginia defense, closes it down. Guy who stepped into a leadership role after the graduation of the excellent Micah Kaiser. This Virginia's defense, which is ranked 27th in the country in points allowed, did not allow a point in the first half. Bronco Mendenhall is with Rocky Boyman.
Coach, a South Carolina offense that toward the end of the regular season was rolling. You've held them to 0 points. What's been so effective for you?
Man, just they've had some miscues in dropping the ball, but the number of times we've knocked down passes or just made critical plays in the right moments, that's keeping points off the board.
Offensively, you've had a 6.5-minute drive and an 8-minute drive. What's the key to continuing that in the second half?
Yeah, small chunks at a time. We're managing it to make sure we score and use the clock, and so far so good in terms of managing that part of the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll get you to Arlington, Texas for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report with Kevin, Jesse, and Joey right after this break. Welcome back to Charlotte and the 2018 Belk Bowl, all part of Capital One Bowl Mania. A 14-0 Virginia Cavalier lead. Can South Carolina make a comeback in their bowl game like they did a year ago? We'll find out in the next 30 minutes of game time. Adam Amin, Anthony Beck, Rocky Boyman in just a moment as well. What stuck out to you first half? What do you want to see second half, bud?
Well, time of possession difference has been huge in this game. Virginia has controlled the clock and really hadn't given the opportunity South Carolina have needed. And offensively for South Carolina, they got to convert more in the passing game. They've had some nice runs that popped, but right now Bentley's not gotten into a flow. Defense has done a nice job for Virginia, knocking balls down, getting in his face, just causing disruption to disrupt the passing game. If they can get that going in the second half, that's going to be the difference for them, you know, taking that next step and getting back in this football game.
There will be a penalty marker thrown, and Virginia will start with the ball and decent field position, just as they did to start the game. Moments ago, Rocky Boyman with Will Muschamp.
Coach, offensively, you've had some drops. You've had not been able to convert on third down. What's the key to getting the spark here in the third quarter?
Well, you know, we shot ourselves in the foot. You know, the drop was a critical third down situation. It's going to put us across midfield. A 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1. We've got to convert those to stay on the field, really hurting ourselves.
Now, Virginia's offense has been able to sustain some long drives. Anything you can do schematically to get them off their point?
They've had some short yardage third downs. We've got to convert. We've got to get some more knockback on the runner on some short yardage situations, but get off field on third down.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
And his defense is out there to start the half. Joe Reed picks up 10 yards. And there were some key moments in that first half. You felt like South Carolina was on the fringe of finally getting a little bit of rhythm and momentum going.
I think they need a splash play, something on defense, a big tackle for a loss, a big catch on offense. You see a little more energy on the Virginia sidelines than you do the South Carolina team. So maybe in the second half they can get something triggered here early in the third quarter.
There's Perkins on the designed run. He gets hit at the midfield marker. 14 of 18 throwing the ball in the first half. Or in the game, I should say. It was one pass here in the second. But he's made 8 straight completions after that 6-for-10 start.
He's taking what the defense gives him. A lot of those balls are sideline throws, quick throws, and those are tough to throw when you're a quarterback when they're, you know, a yard off the line of scrimmage. But he's finding the open zones. He opened up with a nice completion to start this drive, and that's what they're going to continue to do, put him in good situations to make completions.
Perkins, and that one was kind of weird coming out of his hands looking for Zacchaeus. It's going to bring up third down.
Yeah, he's wearing gloves on his hand. Obviously had some ligament damage earlier in the season against Louisville, but you know, having those gloves on his hand, sometimes you get a little too much tactification on the football. Such a beautiful day today. You know, it's really a perfect football day from a weather standpoint.
There's the entire Perkins family, including Paul, running back for the Giants, who's been dealing with a torn pectoral muscle over the last 9 months.
He's in the hoodie there, chowing down some popcorn, it looks like.
Great running back in his days at UCLA.
Absolutely.
They're watching Bryce sling one, incomplete. Looking for Dubois. The 4th down unit will come on to punt the ball away.
A little pressure from Green there to distract the quarterback, but that's a couple passes now by Perkins a little high. Got to follow through. Sometimes you get rid of that ball. You don't step through the target. You see Robert Anai, the offensive coordinator, talking him through that. Just trying to get that completion percentage to stay where it's at. Defense does a nice job getting off the field.
Owen drops into traffic. Down inside the 20.
Little crazy look here.
Yeah, 2 down linemen.
Trying anything today to get it going.
Trying to do something with this strange alignment. Bentley had to dump it off for Casey Crosby, and he gets hit by Joey Blunt. Strange play there, Rocket.
Guys, I think it's important to re-mention the fact that Deebo Samuel is not playing in this game as we've seen the drops. He's been a very sure-handed guy, a guy that always gets open, so somebody else has to step up and be that guy to catch the football.
He's a playmaker in space, and they don't have that space guy right now. And we talked about the off coverage of Virginia. You look at the bottom of the screen, you see Edwards, number 89, on one of the best corners in football, number 34, Hall, and you see the separation here in the distance between receiver and corner.
Looking in that direction, Bentley goes underneath and finds Shi Smith. Hall makes the stop. It'll set up a makeable third down coming up. I mean, Brian Edwards is a 2,000-yard career receiver. Shi Smith has over 600 yards receiving this season. They're not lacking talent, but it's the depth that they lose without Samuel as well. And Bentley under pressure will be brought down, or at least wrapped up, by Jordan Mack. The Virginia defense again.
Yeah, Joey Blunt, number 29 off the edge, does a nice job, and he's there right now. I mean, he's over on the bunch set there by the wide receivers, and he just comes off the edge. There's nobody home. Bentley's trying to get the ball out of his hand quickly. The quick route is not there, and there's no way to go, and that's a huge play by the defense. And again, the momentum continuing to build for this Virginia defense.
Billy Kemp has space for a return, and he'll set up Virginia with great field position on the other side of this break. Bryce Perkins, the leader of this Virginia offense, huddled up with our boys Rocky and Anthony.
3 people, famous, dead or alive, that you'd love to break some bread with.
All right, the first one, he's alive, Denzel Washington, you know, amazing actor. Second one, you know, Michael Jackson. You know, since love Michael Jackson, I remember, you know, watching YouTube videos of him dancing. Definitely have to be Cam Newton. You know, just, you know, watching him, I was the biggest fan, you know, when he was at Auburn, even, you know, when he was at Florida, kind of just keeping up.
Pattern your game a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, exactly.
Of course, he's in the stadium where Cam Newton plays his professional football, though not right now. Cam Newton shut down a few weeks ago for the end of the year. Kyle Allen going to get the start in the Carolina finale tomorrow. Panthers 6-9 going into their finale.
And Denzel Washington is currently
alive. Good to know. Great confirmation. Good note by Bryce Perkins.
Smart guy.
He's got a really easily likable personality. You can see how quickly he ingratiated himself with the rest of this Virginia team. Came in as a junior college transfer after a really solid year last year. The neck injury 2 years ago. Comes from a great football family. Fires incomplete here, Rock.
And guys, the best thing Bryce Perkins talked about yesterday was the drummer that he is. I'm a drummer, and we got to play those clips later too. He grew up drumming to AC/DC.
The 2 talented folks in the Virginia and South Carolina bands going at it here, man. I love it.
We get Rocky up in that section, maybe help him out.
Let's show him a few things.
I figured you'd be carrying the bass drum, man. You got the leg strength for that. 3rd and 7 for Perkins. And he's got the first down using those legs.
He's fast, got a lot of speed. Even when you think you have an angle here, Bryson Allen Williams is there. He feels like he's going to get him, and then all of a sudden he just kind of kicks it into a different gear, safely gets out of bounds, moves the chains. It's kind of been the story of the day so far.
Yep. As you mentioned, 4 times over 100 yards. It had happened just 12 times by a Virginia quarterback in its entire history up until Bryce Perkins showed up. Slings it out wide for Chris Sharp. The junior's first touch of the day is a good one. Gets close to the sticks. They will move the chains. It'll be a first down. Sharp, the junior, out of New Jersey.
You know, between the huddling up and then moving and then the motions, they bore you to death. As far as, you know, if you're a South Carolina player, you really, you know, you're used to playing every snap going in this high-tempo play, and then you don't get that. You're kind of like waiting around.
Bryce Perkins has speed. Unable to use it there. Good job closing it out by J.C. Horn, who's back today after missing a couple of games with an ankle injury. Usually plays the nickelback position. Freshman out of Alpharetta, Georgia.
And run a little game on the inside just to get Bryce Perkins off his point. Number 4, Allen Williams, becoming a little bit of a factor. They're starting to get some penetration. It's just, can you make the tackle when you get to the quarterback? He's just so mobile, his ability to make guys miss.
Zacchaeus with Ellis blocking for him. Solid yardage to 14, about 6 on the play. Bryce Perkins, who mentioned it, he's a junior college transfer from Arizona Western. Arizona Western actually announced that next year is going to be their final year playing football. They disbanded their football program. Bryce Perkins actually talked about it this week, said, I'm playing for those guys today. He wanted to put in a big performance for the guys that he knows may not get a shot to even play football next year in an organized fashion. 3rd and 6 from the 14. Perkins under pressure. Trying to get the sticks. He got him again.
And Rocky mentioned this earlier. The movements. You saw linebackers pushing each other, get in the right spot. And by the time they do all that, who's spying the quarterback? Who's watching this guy? Nobody's there. Look, there's a guy coming off the edge. He just overruns it. Just leaves too much room for Perkins to run.
And that's the reason you can't play man-to-man versus Virginia and Bryce Perkins, because now you got eyeballs turned. They're covering your guy. They've played a lot of zone today, but been very particular at times. Have played some man-to-man. That time it burned them.
1st and goal. Perkins keeps. Flag is thrown as he dives towards the goal line. Marked at the 1. Check the penalty marker. This might actually be an issue with how Virginia lined up.
I think a little bit of a movement.
Illegal formation, offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Give them credit, though. I mean, as much as they moved, only one of those calls so far.
Yeah, that's a good call. I imagine that's part of the difficulties of making sure you're, when you do all this motion and eye candy and pre-snap movement, got to get back to the proper spots. Still 1st down and goal from the 10. Zacchaeus, touchdown. His 2nd of the day in his final Virginia game.
This is too hard in space, Adam. He's right here, and he's going to come across, and they're going to pass it off. And the chaser, when the quarter cat comes, look who's chasing him. It's the safety. It's an impossible coverage possibility for that angle. Just too much speed coming across.
And to have any chance there, Anthony, you have to anticipate it, and the back end did not.
Roderick's a freshman, true freshman, so he's obviously discussing this. He's like, Coach, you know, I'm in depth. He's running a 2-yard route across the field. He'll need a couple of yards to score. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get there. You know, maybe cheat up a little bit, but when you got other guys crossing and getting in front of your space, it's a tough ask for the safety to run across the field.
Will Muschamp trying to get to 23 wins in his first 3 seasons. Jake Bentley from the 32-yard line trying to get this South Carolina offense going. They made a comeback in the Outback Bowl last year. They have some explosiveness in them here. Bentley hit as he throws. Taking a shot for Dawkins. And incomplete again. Chris Peace with the pressure on the quarterback.
And again, got to leave space on the sideline to give yourself a chance to go get that football. Look, you talked about the offensive struggles. 7 drives today, only 8 first downs for South Carolina, and their longest drive was only 3 minutes and 43 seconds. That's a problem because Virginia's had basically controlled the football throughout.
In space, Denson. Well, he's had a couple of good plays today. South Carolina bench was looking for a horse collar, but looked like the tackle was okay for Paul. That's a 23-yard bust out by Mon Denson.
They had the biggest run of the game for them as well in the first half. I mean, hey, start feeding him the football.
Either a hot hand backfield, right? Whoever's got the hot hand, they try to stick with him. Let's see if Denson, a redshirt junior, can get going for Bentley. He's had a couple of 100-yard rushing games this year. He stays in the block, giving Bentley time. 1st and goal,
Middle of the field. You know, I was just looking at that, and I was like, man, I would hit Edwards on a post. Well, they went the other side. It's a great route, great catch. It's what South Carolina's been lacking throughout the whole game. Big, explosive plays, finally getting a chance here.
Longest play of the day at 37. Denson. A lot of traffic out there, and it's Juan Thornhill for the TFL. Good block by Denson there.
Yeah, how about that? Doing it all. Running, catching the football, and, of course, attack. Look at this throw right here. Got to get it over the trailing safety and put it in a catchable place. That's a big-time throw by Bentley.
2nd and goal at the 11. Bentley running out of time. Ooh, threw a dangerous pass there. Nearly picked by Joey Blunt as he was trying to find Jacob August.
And guys, they were trying to find Brian Edwards on the little in, and then kind of that little shot to the back of the end zone, well covered, and then Bentley had to throw it quick, and it was almost a big-time mistake.
And look, so, you know, sometimes you just can't scan all the way backside to your last progression, and that's where you kind of get in trouble. Very fortunate there that ball wasn't house called.
3rd down and goal. This feels like a must-have touchdown on this series for South Carolina. Bentley, back of the end zone. Too tall for Edwards. They had the double move with Edwards out of that wheel.
They're trying to find their big guy, 6'3", 220 pounds. Again, watch him here. He's going to kind of slow roll this, act like he's getting in and try to pick up his speed up the sidelines. Good idea, good thought, just too high on the throw.
Bentley, some miscommunication there. Dawkins was the closest man.
And him and Dawkins haven't been on the same page, and fans are like, what's going on here? You know, he's gone out of bounds on a play. He didn't leave enough space on the sidelines. Again, not being on the same page, and then over here, he's running inside. The ball's going outside, so just not a great series with those two players right there. And you see the frustration. He wants him to come back, and he's going the other way. Just not a good closing now on 4th down.
Their best drive of the day. They go 57 yards down the field and still unable to come away with points. Bryce Perkins with a long field in front of him goes back to work. Incomplete, trying to find Dubois.
And guys, I'm down here next to the South Carolina bench, very dejected right now. They knew that was their big-time opportunity, and they let it slip away here. They've got to find a way to stay in this game, stay positive, because right now, some bleak-looking faces there.
You know, I think you said it a little earlier, too, Anthony. If they could get a splash play on defense, I mean, they're in prime field goal or field position for something like that. You get a takeaway here, you're still in striking range in this game.
And they better keep keying on Zacchaeus, because he just ran wide open down the sidelines. He's at the top of your screen.
Perkins to Dubois. There's that cushion to get out near the 25.
Yeah, this was the last snap. Watch this. He's going to fake and go. Well, guess what? That fake worked pretty well. The safety's no help. Bam, look at that move right there. That was pretty. And, again, Bryce Perkins going the other side. He's a little disappointed. He saw it on the big screen there. He knows he could have had that, but those don't come around often. You got to make sure you get those. And South Carolina very fortunate.
Ellis picks up about 3. Perkins design run. Called for the block from Tanner Cowley and got it. And he's got the first down, too.
Not only do you have to listen to the quarterback when you're in the huddle, you got to listen to him on the field. Sure. And they take directions well. Watch this, Cowley points to him. Look at this. Great angle right here. He said, go get this guy. And Johnny on the spot makes the play. That's huge.
And guys, I've been so impressed down here on the field with Bryce Perkins. When he sees man-to-man coverage, he'll take off. When he sees zone, a little bit of a soft zone, he'll take that easy throw. That's great command.
Perkins has been rock solid today. This Virginia defense has been even better. 21-0 through 3 quarters. Looking for their first bowl win in 13 years. The Belk Bowl on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Start of the 4th quarter. Brennan Armstrong, the backup quarterback, is in. Bryce Perkins in motion. Gets the handoff and will pass to Hassis Dubois. And Dubois lost the football. Could this be the play that South Carolina was looking for? It's recovered by the Gamecocks. Damani Staley.
Got to protect the football. Watch this. The ball's away from his body. That's not textbook right there. Roderick does a beautiful job of swiping at it. Can't hold that ball like a loaf of bread. You've got to protect it against your chest. You get casual, and that's when mistakes happen.
Wonder if South Carolina try to take a shot downfield right here.
Bentley looking to throw, gets drilled by Thornhill, but finds Denson. And he's got the first down into Virginia territory at the 42. 2 plays, and just like that, a little bit of shift in momentum.
Yeah, Bentley felt this one for sure, right in his gut. Denson does a nice job making the play.
Bentley. Deep shot. Looking for Josh Vann. And a good defensive play by Tim Harris. Opposite side of Hall. Harris is pretty good, too.
Well, Harris is following him down the sideline. The one thing that helps him is what? Get your head around. Watch this. He finds the football, folks. Textbook, gets his hand up, knocks it away. Vann obviously unable to make that catch because of the great play.
That happened right in front of me, and I can't tell you how impressive that was. That ball hung up in the sky here for seemingly an eternity, and Harris got in position, made a play on the ball. Awesome.
Bentley. He was looking for Bailey Hart, and Juan Thornhill is there for the interception. And he's still on his feet. All the way down inside the 25. And a penalty marker thrown as Edwards grabbed him by the collar.
During the return, there's a sideline warning. Virginia, their first timeout for an injured player.
So pick up the penalty marker. Yeah. Thornhill to pick.
Thornhill's here, and they're trying to get the ball in this area to the receiver in that window. Just takes too long. And Bentley doesn't feel him running forward, and it's a great job by Thornhill. That's number 6. That's his 6th interception of the year. Heck of a way for this senior. He's had a productive season on his way to the Senior Bowl, and I'll tell you now, they got 2 very good secondary. But you know what? Make it 3 because Harris is just as good as a senior as well.
And kind of spinning things ahead for Virginia. You know, we mentioned earlier when we talked about Notre Dame, they're going to have an opportunity to take on the Irish next season as part of their schedule on September the 28th. They'll have road games in the ACC at Louisville, at Miami. They'll go to North Carolina and Pitt. In fact, both of these teams will play North Carolina next season. We've got a solid recruiting class coming in for next season, and obviously if they close out this bowl game, that's a lot of momentum to take into next year. Not much there for Perkins. Good play by Jabari Ellis. This is what's coming up.
You know, you get the finish. You start the season strong with only one away game, of course that being Notre Dame, but you really have a chance to accelerate the early part of the season and be prepared for that strong back-end finish. And he talked about that last game, Virginia Tech. Such an important game. They were so close this year in that football game in overtime, and that's the difference maker. Those are the important games that you have on that schedule that you feel like you've got to win as a program, especially in state. 15 straight losses to Virginia Tech. They haven't won against the Hokies since 2003. There goes Bryce Perkins, and he's got a first down into the red zone. 20-yard run for Perkins. We talked about the recruiting class coming in, just some of the top commits. You'll see they'll build up their front a little bit. Top 40 class. Now, again, that is number 12 in a 14-team ACC, but overall, compared to the talent level around the rest of the country, very solid for Bronco Mendenhall coming in. And these guys develop talent, right? You know, we talked about earlier Bryce Hall. You know, he was a two-star guy coming out of high school, you know, developed himself. And listen, if I'm a defensive player and I want to potentially look at the next level, this would be a bad place to go and understand and learn defenses, because these kids are talented. They know what's going on, and they read things well.
And guys, think about how much better, even better Bryce Perkins can get with a full off season. Robert and I will continue to draw up things that he does well. Such a blessing to have a great quarterback like that coming back.
And they'll need to fill it out on the offensive end a little bit around Bryce Perkins, because they're going to lose some studs. Zacchaeus and Ellis near the top of that list, but young offensive lineman on the left side. Perkins trying to buy time. Looking for Zacchaeus to the rescue, to the end zone. Number 3 in his final Virginia game.
You never stop. Receivers all the time, when they run their route to the finish, they think it's over because the quarterback's looking left. They're not going to get the ball. Continue to do something. Find a way to get open. And you know what? When you're a talented receiver like Zacchaeus is, you know who's going to find you. Your quarterback stays alive. This kid's been remarkable today. That's not an error. 12 catches, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. What a day.
He ties the Belk Bowl record that was held by Christian Kirk and Hakeem Nicks, the excellent North Carolina wide receiver. 3 touchdowns for Olamide Zacchaeus in game number 50. Virginia, Bryce Perkins getting it done, looking for their first bowl win since 2005. 3-touchdown day for Olamide Zacchaeus, all part of a 28-0 Virginia run, looking for their first bowl victory since... Right on cue, the flashbacks there for you. 2005's Music City Bowl, Wally Lundy had the touchdown to tie the game at 31. Connor Hughes with the late game field goal. Virginia over Minnesota, 34-31. Went to 1 bowl game under Mike London. That was back in 2011. They're looking for their first bowl win since 05. They would be the first 3-time Belk Bowl winner as well. South Carolina trying to become the 7th ever team to go back-to-back with 8 wins in South Carolina history. Right now, Virginia is en route to a victory. Good return, though, from Shi Smith. Great cutback, too. And a fantastic return inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. What's going on today? South Carolina held well under its season average on offense. Olamide Zacchaeus in his final game has been the high man. South Carolina with good field position here, trying to get some points on the board to avoid their first shutout in a dozen seasons.
And man, I'll tell you, the time of possession is just ridiculous right now. 37 minutes for Virginia and only 16, just over 16 for South Carolina. There it is right there. That's just amazing. Couple of long drives for Virginia today. I thought that was an incomplete forward pass, and yes, that is the case. Looking for Denson.
Jake Bentley is another guy who is in the headlines, obviously, when you have a quarterback who's had a good season, particularly in the SEC. Is he going to come back? Is he going to go? A lot of folks have said that he's leaning towards coming back. Obviously, it's not confirmed. A lot of these guys for South Carolina that have a chance to go to the next level will make their decision after this game. Great job by Bentley to stay on his feet. It's 3rd down and 20. That was a late flag, but it was thrown for intentional grounding. Under duress, could not find a receiver in the area, Bentley, so that's why it's 3rd and 20, a loss of the down. Looking deep down the field for Shi Smith. That was incomplete as well. Charles Snowden bringing some pressure.
You know, I haven't seen one pass today where Bentley drops back and there's a timing route that comes out of his hands. I feel like he's always got to find something, look somewhere. The first option is never there. It's been a complete, just, you know, absolute great performance by this defense, just in coverage and just not closing down all the lanes so they can get those passes in there.
You gave me a couple schematics there, timing routes, things like that. You watched a lot of tape on this team. How much of that has to do with the lack of Deebo Samuel today?
Oh, I mean, listen, you get the ball in a playmaker's hands, he goes, makes plays. You haven't seen that guy. Quick throws, quick slants, you know, rub routes in the middle. Even though they're not playing man-to-man coverage, you still can get some crossers. And finally, you get a reception.
Yeah, Brian Edwards. He's a little shaken up after that play. 24-yard pass play on 4th down and 20. They get the 1st down. Edwards is another guy who's going to make his decision for the NFL after this game. He's a guy who's had a great career so far, the junior. Over 2,000 yards, top 5 in receptions all time. He's had a career season this year. He'll have a decision to make after this game. Bentley, incomplete. They played a tough schedule, obviously, in the SEC this year. Look at next year's schedule. Those are the current rankings for the teams that are on their schedule right now. Obviously, Clemson at the end of the season. They start here in this building. Mac Brown, his return to North Carolina, his first game will be against South Carolina in a season. And they bring in another solid recruiting class next year.
They do. They got some really good players coming in. A quarterback, Helsinki, and, you know, their first 5-star since Clowney, and Zach Pickens. South Carolina's Mr. Football defensive end, so a lot to be excited about for the future.
Bentley, though, throws to the sideline and gets picked by Tim Harris. The 6th-year senior, injury-plagued in his career, in his 47th career game, is going to cap his career with a pick. Richmond, Virginia's own, a hometown favorite, Harris. Of course, that you can check out the ESPN app for the post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One immediately following this game. It'll roll you right into your coverage for the playoffs. It'll time out nice for you, and you can see a well-earned trophy to the Virginia Cavaliers and Bronco Mendenhall. Their first 8-win season since 2011. Their first bowl win since 2005. 3.5 minutes away. Ellis for a couple. Of course, our Capital One player of the game will be honored as well. They wanted a lot of touches, double-digit touches for Olamide Zaccheaus. Sure enough, they got him.
Hey, he definitely did, and what a day for him. Movement, being around different places on the football field. South Carolina had no answers for him, and he just stays alive. He's slippery. He's able to break tackles. You know, look, we found him the whole game. We were circling. They couldn't watch our screens doing it, but we found where he was. It's just tough. I mean, you know, you got off coverage. You're not doing man. You're changing it up. He just finds the windows to make big plays, and you know what? Bryce Perkins did a nice job just hanging with him the entire game and letting him be a playmaker.
PK Kier on the carry. 3rd down coming up. Zaccheaus tied the Belk Bowl record with a couple of good names. Christian Kirk and Hakeem Nicks with those 3 touchdown receptions. He and Chris Peace both playing their 50th career games for Virginia. They're just the 12th and 13th players in Virginia history to ever reach 50 games played.
He's out in New Jersey, went to St. Joe's Prep, Philadelphia Catholic League. Obviously, a very competitive team against my former alma mater, Monsignor Bonner,
yep.
You know, who we beat handily when I was there. Obviously, they are the cream of the crop now. Prep's putting out a lot of talent in the high school. We got some fist pumping in here for
Fast Eddie Speed, our fine statistician, Philly's finest. Perkins has the first down. Rocky Boyman, be honest with me, is Notre Dame winning this one today?
I think if they can keep it close early, I mean, we've seen Trevor Lawrence, how brave a player he is. He can light that scoreboard up. If they keep it close early, I think they can have a chance at the end. I really, really do.
You know, I think that's the biggest concern is if Clemson gets out to like a 14-0 lead, 17-0 lead. I honestly think Notre Dame can play even with them for a good chunk of the game, but I think those first 8 minutes might determine the game. I'm with you on that, Rocky.
Yeah, very important, and the more you can keep Trevor Lawrence on the sideline, the better. So ball control, we've talked about Ian Book's completion percentage, over 70%. That's key in a game like this, so I think it'll go down the wire. We'll see.
Well, they're getting ready for it. Here they come. He got some help. There was an assist from the coaching staff there holding on to Bronco Mendenhall.
It's good stuff, man.
And I'm sure fans watch these games and go, well, what does this mean? Why is it important? Bronco Mendenhall came into a program, and I remember him looking me in the eye and saying, when I showed up at Virginia, my first meeting with this team, they couldn't look me in the eye. They were beaten and broken. We had to hit the reset button and completely start over from scratch.
He wanted a challenge. You know, BYU, he's winning 10, 11 games a year. He said, you know what? I was getting kind of complacent. I needed a test, and he wanted to come somewhere where nobody thought he should go as a head coach. He took on this job. He said that, you're right, not only did they not look at him right, they had no idea how to win. The culture had to be completely blown up and changed, and he's done that. And I'll tell you what, man, he said he did the Lewis and Clark, but reverse.
Yeah,
he went from west to east.
They say go west, son. He went east. Yeah. And they've gone from 2 wins in his first year to a bowl game victory a couple of seasons later. A major turnaround and a benchmark performance, a shutout of South Carolina out of the SEC for Bronco Mendenhall and the Virginia Cavaliers, their first 8-win season in 7 years. What a performance from Bronco Mendenhall's crew. You want to talk about culture and buy-in? I think that's epitomized quite nicely with what we've seen from the Cavaliers, especially the last 2 seasons. Final score here at the 2018 Belk Bowl, Virginia 28, South Carolina nothing. Remember that for live coverage from this game of the post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One, log on to the ESPN app.
Coach, you had some amazing performances today. Bryce Perkins, Lamade, your defense was fantastic. Talk about some of those guys.
Well, it starts with the kind of kids and young men that come to UVA, and I'm so fortunate that these young men have chosen to trust me and our coaches, the 14 families that came all the way across the country that love these players. But the players, they're the ones that deserve all the credit. I'm so happy for them to go out as bowl champions.
Is the best yet to come for Virginia?
We're just getting started.
Congratulations, Coach. All right, now to present the MVP award, Alameda Zacchaeus, 3 touchdowns. Woo! Alameda, you've been at this program a long, long time, back when things weren't going so well. But now you come on an impressive victory here today. Things look to be going the right direction for this program. How's this feel?
Feels amazing. Nothing's an accident that we do. So we put in the work, and we just really committed to the cause and committed to winning this game, and it paid off for us.
What does Bronco Mendenhall mean to you? How does he get this team together? How does he continue to rise the level of play here?
That's the standard. it's just it's amazing, man. I'm speechless.
And how about your boy Bryce Perkins here? How about his performance?
Dreadhead from the West Coast, Arizona, Ace Hood!
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fans, we hope you have enjoyed your visit with us here today in the 2018 Belk Bowl. On behalf of
You heard Rocky talk to him. He's the subject of today's Capital One rewarding performance. Olamide Zaccheaus, 3 touchdowns to tie the Belk Bowl record.
I'll tell you, he's all over the field. We talked about it early in the game that you have to find him if you're a South Carolina defender. And because of the shifts, because of the motions, and the way that they use him in their offense, he's just hard to find. He's all over the heck. They even forgot to cover him on his first touchdown catch of the game. Just a remarkable talent. They're going to miss him here. Virginia had an outstanding career. He leaves here as the all-time leading reception holder in Virginia history, and just a very accomplished young man who's done some great things, and he left a memorable performance today, being the MVP of the Belk Bowl.
All part of a 28-0 Virginia victory over South Carolina. That's it from here at the Belk Bowl. We thank you for watching the post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One.